So, good. Hello, ma'am. We are the Group 8 and we are here to report about our topic, which is do not interrupt others. Now, let's start. So, why is it important not to interrupt? Number one reason is that it distracts from the speaker's point. Interrupting others can make them feel frustrated, disrespected, or ignored. Also, interruptions also can make you feel insignificant and unimportant, that what you are trying to say isn't worth of being listened to. So, what this is saying is that interruptions can derail the speaker's train of thought, making it challenging for them to convey their message clearly and effectively. Second, being interrupted can make the speaker feel frustrated because they are not able to communicate their thoughts to the audience. It can also convey a sense of disrespect, as it implies that the interrupter does not value the speaker's contribution to the conversation. Additionally, it can also make the speaker feel ignored, as the input is not given to its full attention. And third, for the interrupter who is constantly cutting off someone can lead to the feeling of insignificance and unimportance. It suggests that what they are have it suggests that what they have to say is not valued or respected by others, which can be disheartening. So we go to the next slide. Which is what is active listening? Active listening is a technique often taught by therapists and counselors, but it can also help you in all aspects of your life, from work to school to your personal relationships. It is the act of fully concentrating on what is being said, understanding it, responding to it if applicable, and remembering it in the future. A lot of us are poor listeners, and some people don't understand the value and importance of active listening. So what this text is trying to say is that active listening is a communication technique that involves on full concentrating, understanding, responding to, and remembering what is being said. It is the way of listening and responding to another person that improves the mutual understanding. So let's go to why. So why is it important to have active listening? Active listening is important for two top reasons. One, it helps you retain and remember the information, particularly important if you are in a lesson, lecture, or work meeting. Second, active listening helps you build good rapport in relationships with the person you are listening to. People generally appreciate being properly listened to and dislike when the things that they are saying are not being properly heard. So cultivating active listening skills will help all your relationships, whether personal or professional. So what these two top reasons I trying to say also is that by actively engaging with the speaker, you are more likely to remember key points and details. This is because actively listening this because active listening requires you to process the information and connect it to your existing knowledge, making it easier to recall in turn. Second is active listening demonstrates your interest and respect for the speaker, which helps you build a positive rapport and relationship. When someone feels when someone feels listened to and understood, they are more likely to trust you and be open in return. And this can lead to a stronger personal and professional relationship. So that's all for my report. We will go to the next discussion.
So, when is not interrupting important? Always some examples of times when you might fall into the bad habit of interrupting. This includes phone conversations, group work at school, college, or university, or team meetings at work. So for phone conversations, it is important not to interrupt, especially for example, if your parents having an important call, so you need to if you are watching TV, so you need to lower the volume, and also um, dapat dili ka maglangas-langas when your parents having an important call. Mapakanji ka o kung si mapak nila dira. And then for the group work at school or college or university, it is also important not to interrupt, especially if na kay one group mates who provided or who gave their suggestions with regards sa inyong group projects. So just wait for your group mate to finish sa iyang suggestions, and if you have an additional mahatag or suggestions as well, then that's the time na mahatag ka after moment in mga classmates sa iyang suggestions. And for team meetings at work, it is also important not to interrupt your colleagues. For example, if your colleagues presenting a project proposal in front of you, so just if ever na kayo mga questions or clarifications about sa iyang gi-present, just wait ng moment siya in order nga dili ma-interrupt ang iyang discussions about sa iyang proposal. And then the next one is how to engage in active listenings. So we already discussed what is active listening from the previous reporter. So we will just going to discuss unsa ang mga importante nga atong buhaton aron nga natay active listening. So for example, for the first one is making an eye contact with the speaker. Second one is keeping your mind open to what someone is saying, waiting for the speaker to finish talking before jumping in with comments or questions, and asking appropriate questions in order to understand once when it is your turn to speak. And then empathy, so that is trying to put yourself in the shoe of the person who is speaking. So for making an eye contact, it is important because once you do an eye contact with the speaker, more focus is na agad sa speaker. And also, for keeping your mind open to what someone is saying, so it is also important in order for us to, for example, if the discussion is all about making abortion as making abortions legal here in the Philippines. So with that one, we all know that we are mostly Christians here in the Philippines, so dapat kayong mo against an kind of topic. And then even if against ka, dapat dili ka dapat open-minded ka, dapat dili ka abi kay di ka ganahan sa topic, di na ka maminaw. So and also just wait if ever na kay mga clarification regarding for the topic, just wait for the time ng moment ng speaker sa iyang discussion, sa iyang speech before ka mo ask of questions. And also if ever, since let's go back with the topic which is abortions, if ever nga makita niyo mga dili gud maayo for example ang abortion ng imong batas or illegal ang abortion sa atong country. So just try to put yourself in the shoe of the speaker. For example, if the speaker is a victim of rape, so with that ma-feel nimo kung sino feel sa speaker, because she is a victim of rape. So yung iyang experience ng iyang gimong motivation nga i-propose ning batasa because yung experience, for example, if the speaker experienced some traumatic experience like during the pregnancy, because ang iyang pregnant is came from rape, so maybe ang speaker naka-experience of mga nightmares every night, and then since 9 months magid na padadaan ng imong ibuntis, so maybe at that time na nagka-try siya og suicide or iyang bang sumbagon ng iyang tiyan every time makainom din siya sa gibuhat gibuhat itong garit niya. So, ano, that's all.
So, what's a big barrier to active listening? Interrupting. Interrupting means cutting someone off when they're speaking. Interrupting disrupts the flow of communication and prevents the listener to fully understand the speaker's message. Interrupting tells the person speaking that you don't care what they have to say. It can signal disregard for the speaker's thoughts or feelings, and it can lead to frustrations and misunderstandings. You think that your voice is more important and you don't really have time to listen to them. It can even make it seem that you weren't listening at all and you were just waiting for your moment to interject. So you should wait until a natural break in the conversation. Let the speaker finish what they were saying and then ask your question or offer your thought. This means refraining from speaking until the speaker has finished expressing their thought or idea. When you notice that the speaker has stopped talking or has paused to gather their thoughts, it is an appropriate moment to respond or ask questions. Even better, you could ask for their consent before doing so. Something like, I have some thoughts if you'd be open to hearing them, or I'd love to ask a question about what you just said, is all you need to say. This approach ensures that you are not cutting off the speaker and allows for a more natural flow of conversation. This makes sure that the interaction remains a conversation that is positive for everybody and doesn't evolve into one person interrupting and the other person feeling as though they're not really being heard.
So that's all for our report. Thank you for watching.